How's it guys, this is Davey FPL and welcome back to another Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now this video is going to be a little bit of a double game week 32 tips and just some of my thoughts on the double game week. Don't worry, the normal preview is going to be up next week, probably around the same mark, Tuesday, Wednesday, but that video is going to be mainly focused at my thoughts and my team specifically, whereas this video is going to be based on you guys and what my thoughts on how you guys can create a really good team. I know not a lot of you is going to be creating your draft teams for the double game week, but some might, so I wanted to get this video out. I know it's quite early. I mean the double game weeks were only confirmed a couple hours ago, but as I said, I just wanted to get this video out there for those of you who really want to take advantage of those price rises and who are looking to maybe create multiple drafts and kind of just want a little bit of insight into creating them. So yeah, as I said, the normal preview is going to be next week, but this is just going to be a little bit of tips and my thoughts on it. Now the first thing that I just want to cover is the whole free hit chip information. So a lot of people have been asking me over on Twitter at DaveyFPL and in the comments of my YouTube videos, basically what the free hit entails, and then the biggest question is, if you make a free transfer before activating the free hit, does it stick? So firstly, it does not. The free hit is basically a new team for only one game week, and it disregards any hits or transfers taken that week. So say that you have made one free transfer this week and you are hoping that it's going to be permanent and your game week 33 team is going to consist of this player that you've brought in. That is false. They will be replaced with whoever you transferred out. Basically this means that you have a completely new team just for one game week, and then the team that you had in 31 will be the exact same team you have in 33. So just take note of that. There's quite a miscommunication on that front. So if you are free hitting, just take note of these things. Now these are the double game weeks that have been confirmed just today by the Fantasy Premier League and more officially from the Premier League board and everything. I know these fixtures look quite muddled, and you're not going to pick out the teams that you see that easily. So I've gone ahead and I've selected basically 3 teams that I believe are must-owns for this double game week 32. And then we're going to talk a little bit about maybe some differentials or some budget enablers afterwards. So right off the bat, if you scan through these fixtures, you're going to be basically looking for the big teams, and that's basically who I've gone for in my essential teams picks. So the first team we're going to talk about is Manchester City, as they have a double game week of Fulham and Cardiff, which if you ask me are pretty much 2 great fixtures. Maybe if you were to replace one of these teams with Huddersfield, maybe that's a better game, but you're not going to get better than these 2 fixtures. I'm probably going to, I really think that 3 Manchester City players is almost essential if you're free hitting or wildcarding. Obviously, if you're using free transfers, you can't do anything about that. Maybe you can bring some in on a hit, or bring maybe Raheem Sterling in for a player like Mo Salah if you're sick of him, which is a move that's kind of a lot of people are thinking about doing this week. So we've got 6 players here that you can take note of in this Manchester City team. Obviously, Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero are the 2 main hitters. These are the 2 I recommend that are almost essential for this game week. Then we have David Silva, Ederson the keeper, Laporte and Bernardo Silva. Some of the interesting things to note is players like Sergio Aguero are not going on international duty. Obviously, these 2 weeks that are occurring now are the international break. Players like Raheem Sterling have been called up to the England squad, and then we have players like Sergio Aguero who have not. So they'll be having a lovely 2-week break, and they're going to be coming back, hopefully revving for the rest of the season. So if I were to pick 3 of these players, I really favor the attack more, so I probably would look at getting 2 attackers and then 1 defender. It's quite hard because Laporte has been injured obviously recently, so he hasn't been playing a full 90 minutes I think in the last 3, or he did play 1 or something like that, but he hasn't been a set starter recently, but that's only due to injury. Before, he was playing every game for Manchester City and seemed like their most set defender after Ederson. So Ederson for me is still the pick. to make if you want stability and you want a player that's guaranteed to play both of them, but then you just have to kind of drop off from that attacking bonus. Last double game week with Manchester City, Laporte ended up being one of the highest scorers because of his goal threat, so could be a great option this game week. Could see him maybe scoring a header, but definitely looking at the clean sheet points from him. Another player that I like is Bernardo Silva. He seems to have made himself a set start in the team and looks essential to Pep's formation, and seems really a player that Pep trusts. For me, he's one of the underrated players of the season, so definitely a look-in for me. The next team is Chelsea, who have a double game week of Cardiff and Brighton. Chelsea are a little bit more difficult because they kind of have hit a run of poor form. After the Carabao Cup final, everyone was kind of thinking that maybe they'd sorted out their defensive worries, but then after this weekend losing against Everton, I'm obviously a little bit worried about them. However, you can't ignore these two fixtures as well. Cardiff and Brighton is a great double game week to have, and I'll talk about Brighton and their rotation a little bit later on, which makes it even better for Chelsea. Eden Hazard is essential for me in this Chelsea lineup if you're going to go for a Chelsea player. Higuain is also a good option. I just think that he hasn't settled in as well as maybe people hoped, and he still is lacking a little bit of form up front. So for me, the attacking option is Hazard, and I'm probably going to be doubling up on the Chelsea defense. I'm kind of looking at Azpilicueta and David Luiz, but Kepa is also a good player to look at if you want to fill that keeper slot. It's quite a difficult slot to fill because you obviously want an outfield player, as they do offer those attacking returns every once in a while, and David Luiz is always a threat from corners and set pieces, so that's someone I'll be looking at from the Chelsea lineup, along with Hazard. Then we have Manchester United, who have a double game week of Watford and Wolves. Same thing a little bit with the rotation. Wolves is a little bit of a better fixture, I think, than if you were to play them in a single game week. So Manchester United is also a team that I'm looking at tripling up on. My two players that are probably going to be in my team are Paul Pogba and Marcus Rashford. The only thing with Pogba is he seems to be dropping a little bit deeper now, but hopefully after this international break, most of the players will be fit from the Manchester United team. So I'll be looking at Paul Pogba. Romelu Lukaku is also the interesting differential there. Has hit a great run of form in terms of goal scoring. Dipped off a little bit recently, but that's only within the last game or two. And then also the defensive option I'm looking at is Victor Lindelof, mainly due to his price. Another good option is Chris Smalling, who seems to offer a little bit more attacking wise, but he is more expensive. And then obviously the obvious choice of David De Gea in goal if you want to stretch your budget a little bit. Now these are just some budget enablers. I've included Wan-Bissaka in here, as most of us own him, so a lot of value should be stored in him, and probably he's around the 4.2, 4.3 mark for most of us who've bought him early on. Another player that you could look at is Schlupp from, he plays left back instead of right back for Crystal Palace. He also looks a great option down that left hand side for them, so could swap out Wan-Bissaka for him. Another option is Luka Milivojevic, who is on penalties, as everyone knows. Looks like a set starter for next season with VAR introduced, but Crystal Palace's double game week also looks quite good, and their opponents have actually given away a couple of penalties. So you're obviously going to be hoping for those penalties if you're going to bring Luka in. So hopefully he can get some returns for you. Then the player that I'm looking at bringing in as well is Batshuayi. Obviously just come in to the Crystal Palace team recently, but he looks like he's beginning to get a little bit of form. He's always a player that I rate, as I enjoy watching him play, and I think that he's quite a good striker. So you can either get him or Zaha. Zaha just worries me a little bit with his injuries, and seems to drop off unexpectedly after the press conferences. So sometimes it doesn't seem that Hodgson wants to disclose that Zaha is injured in a worry that the opponent team will prepare differently. So Batshuayi almost looks certain for me as I look for those differentials. Then we have Ben Foster with Watford also having quite a good double game week. He seems like a very cheap keeper that if you need a budget enabler in that spot. I also have Matt Ryan there, as Brighton do have 3 doubles coming up. So if you are not on a wild card, or a free hit, he does look like a great option if you have a backup keeper that is going to play in blank game week 33. Also included Troy Deeney here, as he's an interesting choice. As I said, Watford's double is quite good, so could opt for him as well. Then I'm just going to talk about the rotation worries a little bit. I can't see myself having a lot of Wolves players, even though I own them throughout the seasons, players such as Jimenez and Doherty. The main reason is that all three clubs here, Wolves, Brighton and Watford, are playing in the FA Cup semi-finals on the weekend, so I don't really think their doubles are going to be that profitable, as I can see a lot of rotation happening in that midweek fixture. I mean, Wolves rested their main players a week before the Chelsea game, and they had a week of rest, so imagine what they're going to do with only 3 or 4 days rest. So can't really see me having Jimenez or Doherty in my double game week free hit, but just be careful of those players if you are owning them or going to bring them in. Same goes for Brighton and Watford. Obviously, main players like the keepers aren't going to be rotated that much, so you could opt for those players. Then just some general tips on this game week. If you're wildcarding or free hitting, you must please watch the price rises carefully, as this is a great way to earn profit if you're going to be selling those players late on in the game week, or just if you want to bring those players in earlier so you can get those price rises. And then if you do not have a free hit or a wild card, I would suggest bringing in Chelsea and Brighton players. Chelsea mainly because they don't blank in game week 33, and they do have this double, and then Brighton players because they have 3 upcoming double game weeks, game week 32, game week 34, and game week 35. So they look great options if you're going to profit on those double game week players. Then please pay attention to the international fixtures in terms of injuries and game time, as obviously if your players are playing 180 minutes over the week, then they might be a little bit tired as the Prem starts again. And then if you are free hitting, try and put as much value in your starting lineup, as you're basically banking on your starting lineup playing and your bench players not getting that many points. Then just some general comments. Obviously, a notable omission from this preview is Tottenham Hotspur's players. For me, I just don't know about Harry Kane right now. I just prefer to spread the funds. It's basically come down to Kane or Hazard for me. So I'm currently edging Hazard just because of the easier fixture. The Spurs-Liverpool game kind of swings me off a little bit. But obviously there are good players to look at. I would be looking at Son or Kane if I was to go in that department. Mainly Son just because he's a little bit cheaper than the other two midfielders of Ali and Eriksen, and Kane just because he's the front man and on pens for Spurs. But otherwise, this is basically going to be me wrapping up and signing off. So please like the video if you enjoyed, and then I highly suggest that you subscribe to the channel and even turn that notification bell on, because I'll be uploading another video late in the week. And that's going to be quite a good video, I believe, as I'll be giving a little bit of insight on what I will be doing and how I got along in the blank game week 31. So as I said, just please like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed, and also follow me on Twitter. There at DavyFPL. I'm a lot more active on there, and I give my thoughts and reply to you guys. On that note, please comment down your teams or comment down your questions below, and also tweet at me if you have any questions. I'll reach out to you guys and reply as soon as possible. But otherwise, enjoy a little bit of a break. Enjoy making those draft double game week teams, and good luck. And I'll see you guys next week in the preview video. This has been DavyFPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.